The federal government says it has developed a $6.7 billion plan of action for the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement of Northeast devastated by Boko Haram activities. Our U.S. representative to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande, said this at an event tagged Strengthening Humanitarian and Development Partnership in the Lake Chad region at the UN headquarters. The Nigerian envoy said that the comprehensive socio-economic plan known as Buhari Plan is meant to advance development in the country. To discuss this further, I have with me in the studio a lawyer and public affairs analyst, Wale Oshunde. Many thanks for joining us, Wale.
Thanks for having me.
And happy Sunday to you.
Same here.
Okay, fantastic. $6.7 billion is when you hear such money, and you probably sit properly on your seat, but the impact of it. You remember, this is not the first time Nigerian is raising money or gathering money even from the international community to rebuild the Northeast. Is it just about the money or the utilization of the money?
That is just it, because I strongly feel that, yes, we know what to do in this country, but the utilization, like you said, has always been the problem. And then we really need to do something about this, because it is actually not giving us, the good image that we want for our country. You see, it goes beyond just mentioning figures and then just parading dignitaries to actually give us money and what have you. But the sincerity on the part of our government is one thing to actually look, very seriously into. And then I feel that, yes, people who are even willing to donate are also looking at the sincerity on the part of government as well.
Okay, well, you know that Theresa May was in Nigeria just a few days ago, and Angela Merkel as well. And perhaps China may also make some donation. But really, can you tell us about what you think about the sincerity of the international community in terms of helping in rebuilding the Northeast? Remember that some of them made promises before now, and they never really came through. But until now, that's the UK is Brexiting, going out of EU, and some kind of scramble for Africa is going on.
That's correct. You see, they really need to worry, and I'll tell you why they have genuine concerns, because you see, before you can talk about rebuilding, before you can talk about rehabilitation, reconstruction, and what have you, you must be sure that the menace has been curbed. Boko Haram, the terror, that is being inflicted and unleashed on the people of the Northeast. You need to be sure that, yes, we are not going to be reconstructing for nothing, and then these guys are coming from the bushes to actually bomb these reconstructed roads, reconstructed buildings, and what have you again. And so the first question, and I think the most critical question is, have we really dealt with the menace of Boko Haram? Are we really sure that the Northeast is now safe and secure, such that when we now carry out this reconstruction and rehabilitation, we'll be doing it for the final time? That is actually the genuine concerns that the international community would continue to have.
And that should be the focal point, really.
Absolutely. That is it. And so we really need to tackle these things and then ensure that the needful is done. We all know that Boko Haram is still there, ravaging these communities, and people are still in the IDP camps and what have you and all that, and then they are even living under imminent threats of further attacks and, attacks that are likely to come. And so we really need to be sure that Boko Haram is a done deal. We have
Don't let the federal government hear you say that, because according to them and the Nigerian army, Boko Haram is no longer an issue in Nigeria.
No, they only said Boko Haram has been technically defeated, and we all know the meaning of that, and then we still continue to witness...
What's the meaning of that?
We all know what that means. We still continue to witness pockets of attacks, even though we call them pockets of attacks. But the real thing is that there are still attacks. And let's be very, very honest with ourselves, at least for once. You see, there are still attacks going on, and then it means that we are not ready for reconstruction in the real sense of it.
Okay. All right. Let's go with what we have, as it were, in terms of the little that they take to the Northeast. There have been allegations of corruption, some officials diverting money and diverting food, and sometimes even the cumbersome nature of maybe using a bank and the ATMs has been affecting the genuine implementation of whatever rebuilding plans that the government has.
And that goes to, the issue of anti-corruption crusade, or, fighting corruption in the land and what have you. See, we have these figures, we have the plans, we have the budgets, we have, the arrangement on the part of government to ensure that, yes, these things are done. But what about ensuring that these monies are not diverted. The other time we're hearing about clearing bushes and what have you, and then that contract that led to
money.
Exactly, and then we continue to witness all of these things, and now we're also talking about diversion of funds, diversion of food items and what have you, and nobody has been sent behind the bars for committing all these allegations and all that. As a matter of fact, I think more fundamentally, we even need to investigate all of these things. I've not even heard about any investigation launched into all of these things. And that is why, a lot of people in the international community will continue to laugh at us, and then they see us as unserious people, in the real sense of it. And as such, I think until that time that all Nigerians, particularly people in the Northeast, civil society organizations and, governmental organizations, until that time that we all concentrate at that juncture where we hold people in government to account, and then we say that, excuse me, justice must be done, justice must be served, and you must truly be seen to be serving the people that you have promised that you will serve. Nothing is going to move in this country. But for me, I think it is good that we have that plan to rebuild and rehabilitate the people in the Northeast, and to ensure that
beyond just banding the figures and see to the implementation.
Absolutely, to ensure that they live good lives again.
Indeed. Thank you very much for coming on TVC News.
I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.